Breakdown is presented by John's Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow.
Yes, it's time for the Breakdown, a Week 4 edition of the Breakdown, a Bailey Zappe edition of the Breakdown. Phil Perry, Ted Johnson alongside Ted. Do you believe in moral victories?
You know what? It's going to disappoint maybe a lot of people, but I absolutely do. I think moral victories can be very beneficial for a football team. 1996, we lost to the Dallas Cowboys, but then we went on to not lose a game until we lost again in the Super Bowl. 2001, we lost to the Rams at home, and that set us up to go make a Super Bowl run and then beat them in the Super Bowl. So I'm a big believer in moral victories, and I will say this is kind of the quintessential moral victory game.
Well, and I know it doesn't sound very Patriots-like to believe in moral victories, which is what you're getting at there, but you might be surprised by what you heard from the Patriots locker room last night. I asked Matthew Slater about moral victories. Here's what he had to say.
We showed a lot of character tonight. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been as proud of a group as I am tonight. Just to go out there and with everything that was going on in the game, all the odds stacked against us, to come out and compete says a lot about who we are.
I'm proud to be in that locker room. I'm proud to be a part of this team. A lot of trust in those guys. I can't guarantee wins, but if we compete and work like we did out there today, the results will take care of themselves eventually.
Like Dave probably told you guys, we battled and fought both sides of the ball, especially a lot going on. Mac out, Hoyer steps up, playing well. Hoyer gets knocked out, Zappe. So, I think those are the things to be proud of. But how can we do those things and win has to be the mission.
Can be proud of a loss sometimes. 0-1, you guys lost to the Rams. You were pretty proud of that loss at the time, if I remember correctly. Second half against the Chiefs in 14. You get the idea. One thing the Patriots actually did to help Bailey Zappe, and to a lesser extent Brian Hoyer, they relied on the play-action passing game in Week 4. These numbers presented by your New England Ford dealers, and Ford trucks built Ford tough. Mac Jones at QB. Patriots had attempted the fewest play-action passes in the NFL through 3 weeks. But yesterday in Green Bay, nearly perfect on play-action, including Zappe's first career touchdown pass to DeVante Parker. Time now for Board Games, brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. The name to know when the drains don't flow. Big-time play-action day for Bailey Zappe and the Patriots yesterday, Ted. And we have a historic moment here on the board. Let's take note. First career NFL touchdown pass for Zappe, and we have Yankee written at the top of the board. Why?
Yeah, Yankee is basically it's the concept that the Patriots ran, and they ran this in the game a lot. But clearly on this play they had success with it, getting the DeVante Parker with a touchdown. It's usually a two-man route combination. The Patriots put in a third man in this, but typically what it is, it's usually run on the around the 30-yard line going in. So they call this the high red area or the gray area. The Patriots ran this a few times and with success on this play right around the Green Bay's 30-yard line because of the depth of the routes and because of the bind it puts on the safety. You run it at about that distance on the field. The Patriots executed it perfectly. It's a great play action. Quarterback's under center. He reverse pivots right here. The running back kind of jab steps and comes in. Do the play fake here. At the start of the call, you have Nelson Aguilar, who runs kind of a clear out right here. But here's where the read is for Bailey Zappe. They make it very easy for him. This is the read, the free safety right here in the middle. If the strong safety, and this is cover 3, by the way, you have a third, and a third right here, so it's cover 3. The bind is on the safety. If the safety jumps this shallow cross there, DeVante Parker, then the read is to go over the top, which was Kendrick Bourne. However, if he stays back for Kendrick Bourne on this deep post, then the read is to hit the shallow crosser in DeVante Parker, and that's exactly what happened there. The safety takes over the top, Kendrick Bourne. This cornerback takes Kendrick Bourne. They bracket Kendrick Bourne. That leaves a big, wide open kind of space here for DeVante Parker as he comes across. The read is simple. Once he sees the safety jump Kendrick Bourne at the high part, he hits the lower part right here, DeVante Parker, for a nice, easy walk-in touchdown. The Patriots did this concept with success, Phil, in this game a few times. It's something that the Patriots have run for years, that they bring up every now and then around the 30-yard line going in, a two-man route combination where they really key that strong safety. It's an easy read for the quarterback.
Play action, especially when your run game is going well, and the Patriots ran for over 5 yards a carry yesterday. Play action can make your quarterback's life easier. It certainly did on that play. look at the run game. I mean, it's just been so effective over the course of the last few weeks. That play-action passing game can be the beneficiary there. New England also ran the ball just so well in addition to throwing those passes. The Patriots with a season-high 167 rushing yards. They've increased their rushing total every week this season, and each of the last 2 have topped 5 yards per carry. For more, it's time for our first Ted-Nique of the night. It's presented by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. And Ted, we're going to talk a little bit about this touchdown run by Damien Harris in the second half. We saw a wide zone from the Patriots, but it's what happened on the backside of that play that you want to talk about.
Yeah, so what the Patriots did, they played a lot of Marcus Cannon, who's a tackle. They brought Marcus Cannon a lot in this game to play tight end, just to beef it up a little bit. And they had him playing tight end, and he was a lot of times away from the initial play. So a lot of times, the Damien Harris touchdown run, here, Marcus Cannon was...
I'll be Marcus.
You're Marcus Cannon. So Phil's Marcus Cannon. He's the tight end to the right side. You have the back at home. Damien Harris is at home. This is what the Patriots do. They run a wide zone that way. Here's the thing. When you run a wide zone to the opposite side of the field from where the tight end is, where this defensive end is, you probably think, well, they're probably not even going to be in the play. No, not at all. This is a key block for the Patriots to make on wide zone going away is Marcus Cannon playing tight end to cut off this backside defensive end. And this is exactly what he does, and he does it perfectly. So he goes down, he cuts this defensive end. What happens is Damien Harris gets the ball, and he cuts it back. And by cutting off this defensive end and not allowing him to get over the top to make the tackle, there's a huge crease right there for Damien Harris to get in and just walk in right into the end zone. It's amazing. This zone run concept that the teams run against the Patriots are starting to run, is the backside blocking is so critical in creating those cutback lanes for your runners.
And credit to Marcus Cannon, who's just recently returned to New England. They're putting in this new scheme. He's familiar with wide zone. The Patriots ran it occasionally during his previous stint here, but he can come in at tight end, make that kind of block quickly, Ted. Why better to cut in that situation if you're the Patriots on the backside, as opposed to just trying to stay on your own 2 feet, maybe reach block the guy that way?
Yeah, so if you stand up and don't cut and you try to reach block this way, bigger defensive ends can push you into the gap and really cut off all that space and cut back those cut off those cutback lanes. And so I think the easiest way to do it quickly and to make it efficient is just go down low, because a lot of these defensive ends, they're not expecting it and they don't like getting hit in their feet and they're not good at getting off of that cut block. And so that's an effective way of creating that seam for that runner to hit.
If I was any kind of athlete, I'd be down on the floor. I'd really get into it.
You did all right, buddy.
Right at those legs.
Right.
Watch out for those ACLs. Watch out for those ACLs, TJ. Up next, Patriots linebackers. They could use some help. So they're bringing in an old friend to Foxborough. Have you heard? Yeah. Our resident linebacker, Ted Johnson. Yeah, he drops some knowledge when the breakdown returns right after this. It's time now for my report card. My report card is presented by the Massachusetts School of Law. The Patriots, oh boy, with a pretty good effort in Green Bay, but not quite good enough. You know, the grades reflect that too. Lots of B's and C's, couple of notable C-minuses for the defensive line and linebackers. And that could help explain this next story. Patriots are bringing Jamie Collins back to town. Yet again, the veteran linebacker agreeing to a deal with the Patriots for what will be his 4th stint with the team. The team announced today that he will be on the practice squad. So for now, that's where he will reside. He played 10 games for the Patriots last season. He was originally drafted by the team back in 2013. So Ted, Patriots looking for help at linebacker makes sense based on all kinds of running room that was allowed by the Patriots in that game against the Packers yesterday, which we'll get into. What's going on with this linebacker group right now? It feels as though Mack Wilson has found himself in the doghouse very, very quickly. We were here on this show just a couple weeks ago talking about what a great athlete he was. He helped contribute to a pick against the Steelers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were high on Mack Wilson, even Raekwon McMillan, for that matter. Both of these guys, we were talking up in training camp, hoping that they could contribute. Neither of them really are doing much. Mack Wilson, the reps he does get, he's not making the most of, and so he's losing his minutes. You bring in Jamie Collins, not only can he play outside linebacker, Phil, but he can play inside. And they really aren't settled with an outside linebacker opposite Matthew Judon yet either, I should say. as well as some issues at middle linebacker. And so you bring in a guy that can play both. That's a bonus.
Gives them some depth across the board. And even if he stays on the practice squad, the Patriots can't elevate him, for instance, to play in this weekend's game against the Lions. Patriots could have some linebacker help Sunday, of course, with their new addition, because Aaron Rodgers, he was only half bad. After the worst statistical half of his career, in the first half, Rodgers was terrific after the break, throwing for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the Packers to a comeback win. Bill Belichick says it's the kind of performance few can deliver.
In the end, Rodgers is just too good. He made some throws that only Rodgers can make. We had pretty good coverage on some of those, and he just, he's just too smart, too good, too accurate.
Back out here for Board Games now, brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, the name to know when the drains don't flow. Ted, let's take a look at one of these really difficult to defend Aaron Rodgers plays. You've got cover 2 beater written at the top of the board. This is that Robert Tonyan touchdown pass. What happened to the Patriots here?
Yeah, so the Patriots run cover 2, 2 safeties deep. That's what cover 2 means. Usually the Patriots like to play man when they get into the red zone. The Green Bay Packers are on the 20-yard line. The Patriots chose to play cover 2, which is it's a good coverage, but everybody's got to be on top of what they're doing. And there's a breakdown from the Patriots defense, unfortunately, and the Green Bay Packers get an easy touchdown to their tight end up the seam, okay? So cover 2, what it tells you, the middle linebacker, DeVante Parker, to the trip side. When you have number 3, which this is 1, 2, 3 receiver, goes vertical like Tonyan did, the tight end, you have to carry him, okay? You have to carry him up to 10 to 15 yards to help your safety who's behind you, Devin McCourty. At the snap of the ball, the 2 safeties to play cover 2, they widen out. And what you're doing as this middle linebacker is you can ask for help from the outside linebacker, Anthony Jennings. Anthony Jennings was the outside linebacker on this play, and instead of asking for help, chipping him or butching him, hit him before you go into the rush, slow him down to help me get to my coverage a little bit easier. That can help. They did not do that. Anthony Jennings just at the snap of the ball, he comes. And so DeVante Parker right here, he has to get out there fast to the tight end. And this tight end, Tonyan, does a great job of kind of going up the seam and not getting pushed too far wide to the strong safety right here, and he bends it back perfectly. And of course, Aaron Rodgers has a small window in cover 2. The weakness in the coverage is the middle of the field, behind the linebacker and in front of the safety, and that's where Aaron Rodgers hits Tonyan right here, is behind DeVante Parker and in front of Devin McCourty. You really needed to hit Tonyan at the line of scrimmage, slow him down. DeVante Parker needed to do a better job of pushing him to his safety and rerouting. He wasn't able to do that, and so the Packers were able to hit a big one there for a touchdown behind the linebacker in front of the safety. A typical cover 2 beater. Aaron Rodgers pulled it off to perfection.
Against a quarterback as great as Aaron Rodgers, you have to be on your details. So no butch at the line of scrimmage on Tonyan. The linebacker, DeVante Parker, doesn't carry Tonyan where he needs to, and you end up with a Green Bay Packers touchdown. It wasn't just Rodgers in the passing game beating the Patriots Sunday. The Packers ran it 35 times for 199 yards, a robust average of 5.7 per carry. The Patriots now have the number 26 ranked rush defense in the NFL. Ouch. And that brings us to our next Ted-Nique, presented by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. Ted, we're actually going to take a look at wide zone again, but we're going to take a look at it from the other side of the ball. So we're going to talk about Patriots defenders. Let's start with Matt Judon on the edge. Again, let's talk about the backside of the play. We talked about the backside before with Marcus Cannon on the blocking side. But how do you defend this as a backside edge defender the way Judon was on a handful of occasions Sunday?
Yeah, look, the devil's in the details when it comes to stopping a run attack like Green Bay. Everybody's got to know exactly where everyone's going to fit, and you got to be on top of your game. And particularly the backside players on plays away. It's a lot of times these plays away for most teams, the backside guys that are defending, they're out of it.
They want to take a break, right?
They're just like, all right, well, I don't have to go chase that ball down because it's not coming back. A zone run, they cut back all the time. So the backside players are a key part. And Matthew Judon had his hands full all day. He did a decent job, but this is what you have to do. If you're Matthew Judon, and you're the outside linebacker to the left, you got the back at home, and it's a zone play away, all right? And what a lot of times Green Bay will do, instead of really blocking Matthew Judon, they almost let him go. And so they block down, and Matthew Judon's free. What he has to do on play away, though, is play down the line of scrimmage. So make sure it press this guy to make sure that there's no cutback lanes. Also, defending against the bootleg by the quarterback. So if the quarterback does the play fake and Matthew Judon gets sucked in too much, then you have a naked boot by the quarterback, and then he gets out leveraged and he can't make the play. So he's got to really middle it. He's got to press down the line of scrimmage and cut off those cutback lanes, all the while being able to still defend a naked boot if the quarterback does keep it and boot outside to his left.
Varied responsibilities for somebody like Judon on a play like that. How about Christian Barmore? Because we saw the interior of the Patriots defensive line, whether it was Barmore, Carl Davis, Devon Gottschalk, they had issues with wide zone as well.
And so this is what was given the Patriots D-line issues at times, okay? We'll say that Phil's going to be the guard in this scenario. The quarterback's inside here. Barmore is outside the guard, shoulder of the guard. That's called a 3 technique. That is the B gap. So Barmore has the B gap. But what was happening to Barmore, and there's a lot of defensive linemen, to be fair, is that the snap of the ball said, hey, he would get reached. The offensive lineman would be so quick to get around him and cut him off, the play would go to the outside, and he wouldn't be a factor. What he needs to do, what the defensive lineman needs to do in this case, is when the play goes and they try to reach him, boom, he gets upfield it pushes his upfield shoulder, so that it discourages them from going that way and cuts the ball back. They didn't do that most of the time. So to get cut off as a 3 technique by a guard, you have to have athletic, fast guys, but you also have D linemen that get out of their breaks, get out of their stance fast, push upfield, and then make the ball turn back inside.
Barmore is that type of explosive interior defender that you would think would be able to do that, do it pretty consistently. I think we have the most explosive football analyst in the entire nation right here on our set for the breakdown. Ted Johnson, unbelievable work by that guy right there. Tuesday, 6 o'clock, more unbelievable work headed your way. Catch another edition of Quick Slants. Tom Curran will be joined by Kay Adams. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Up next, we're keeping up with the Joneses and breaking out our Monday night spotlight. Just how good were the Patriots' 2 rookie corners in this game against the Packers? Ted and I are back to break it all down right after this.
Personally, I feel like it's disrespectful to throw an out route on me. If you could throw the ball past me to get to the receiver, I'm no good.
No good. Jack Jones.
I love the cut
excellent.
Of his jib, man.
Oh, man, I feel like we might be looking back at that clip years from now and saying we should have known the Patriots had a player then. He was excellent in his first NFL start. His biggest highlight, a 40-yard pick six of Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. That was his second takeaway of the game. He had forced and recovered a fumble on the same play in the first quarter. He was also PFF's top-graded corner in coverage in the entire NFL in Week 4. That brings us to the Monday Night Spotlight, which is presented by the Oakers Company, proud sponsor of the New England Patriots. Ted, what'd you think of the Patriots rookie corner? First start in the NFL with Jalen Mills out, and he showed up.
I loved it. I mean, that's a hell of a debut. I mean, he was all over the field. You know what? It's amazing. He's so good at just sticking that foot in the ground and then coming up. Very aggressive corner. I love his mentality. He's a ball-hawking corner. And the Patriots need a ball-hawking guy. This is a guy that's going to make plays, and they need playmakers on defense.
I've talked to Jack Jones's veteran teammates over the course of the last few months, dating back to early in training camp. And the thing they bring up consistently is that he has great feet. Might sound a little strange. This is not a Rex Ryan situation here, but Jack Jones, it's exactly what Ted is talking about. Click and close. Understand that the ball's coming your way. Change direction. Make a play. Not the straightest line fast guy in the world, but he has that change of direction ability that obviously came up big on Sunday. How about Marcus Jones? Because Marcus Jones strictly is a return guy, Ted, but again, making explosive plays in a phase of the game that the Patriots are going to need explosive plays from, especially if their offense is going to be dealing with backup quarterbacks, however long Mac Jones is out.
Yeah, you know, Phil, I mean, you saw him in training camp. I saw him in training camp. You just see this kid, like there's something to him, man. He's just explosive. There's an electrifying kind of feel to him, and he went out there and he was magnificent. So the Patriots that value clearly these invisible yards, he's going to be a huge help in that and setting them up with good field position.
25 yards almost on average in terms of his punt returns. 28 yards as a kick returner. Excellent, excellent stuff. But now we have to get to the bad. Let's talk about Isaiah Wynn, okay? This guy's causing some consternation in the greater New England area here. Bad day for the veteran right tackle, Isaiah Wynn. He allowed the sack that knocked out Brian Hoyer from the game. He also allowed a sack that led to Bailey Zappe's lost fumble. Wynn also was called for penalties on back-to-back plays, and he spent part of the second half watching from the sideline, replaced by Marcus Cannon. Ted, might that be a more permanent replacement moving forward? Cannon for Wynn, in your opinion?
It might be. I mean, we're going to kind of maybe get a feel for what, Isaiah Wynn is at the end of the day, because I think Bill Belichick's putting pressure on him, bringing in Marcus Cannon, benching him in the second half. Clearly, his play would probably it's understandable that he's going to get less reps. Maybe this is a desired result. It just seems like maybe he hasn't been invested in this program this year, and his play certainly reflects that.
It's hard to find capable tackles. Feels like the Patriots really were lucky that they were able to acquire Marcus Cannon, somebody who knows the offense and who can still play, to be able to add him midseason.
That's perfect. That's about as cool, a good a transition as you can have at that position.
All right, so next week, I know a lot's going to depend on who's playing quarterback, but how do you feel against the Detroit Lions, who, Ted, are leading the league in points scored and points allowed? Patriots get back on the W column?
You know what I do? I feel pretty good. I think they're feeling good about themselves, and so I'm thinking there's good momentum for this Patriots team, even though they just come off of a loss.
Moral victory, a little momentum that comes with a moral victory. All right, everybody, stick around for our Bella Early Edition with Ted-Nique. It's coming up right now.